Hi, I'm Tom Howard, founder of Work Visa Solutions and immigration lawyer. Last year, a friend of mine asked me, what does his company need to do to hire its first H-1b visa? Well, I helped him out, and that person did get a job. Then I made this video so that I can help other companies hire their first H-1b employee. Here are the top 5 things that your company needs to do before it hires its first H-1b employee. Number 1, you have to make sure that your FEIN number that you got from the IRS is filed with the DOL so it can get an LCA. Oh man, this happens all the time when you get the federal government involved. You turn into an alphabet soup of various agencies. The one that we deal with the most over at Work Visa Solution, of course, is going to be the USCIS. I guess we can go over all of these. You know the IRS, those are the tax guys. The DOL, those are the labor guys. The FEIN, that's your unique identifier for your particular company so that it can file its tax return. That FEIN needs to be at the DOL so that you can get your prevailing wage. It's also necessary for the LCA. It's the first step before you apply to USCIS, which I believe is in Homeland Security. There's a lot of government bureaucracy that you have to go through and hoops and forms and procedures that you need to follow when you're hiring your first H-1b employee. And that's why number 5, we're not going to get to right now. We're going to go on to number 2. Most of the time when you're hiring your first H-1b employee, you're probably a tech company and you're probably a startup. You may be only in your 2nd or 3rd year of operations and only generating $500,000 a year or less. What do you need to do? You need to demonstrate to the USCIS that your company actually has a valid lease. So make sure your company has a lease that it can then show to the authorities to validate your company and help you hire your first H-1b employee. Number 3, you need to show that your H-1b employee will be employed the entire time. An H-1b is up to 6 years if you completely max it out, all recaptured time and everything like that, intact. The important thing to know is that your company needs to prove to the government that the H-1b employee will be able to work for the full 3 years. If you're a tech company, a lot of times tech companies have contracts, consulting contracts, IT contracts with various other companies and businesses, and those contracts are worked until they are completed, and then you usually and then the company ships the deliverable, very often a tech product. I know that's what we do at WorkVisas.Solutions and our parent company, Stumari. It's very important to have all the contracts that show you have work for your H-1b employee for up to the 3 years. All those contracts that your company has. Put those into the application because it shows the authorities at the USCIS that your company has enough work to maintain the employability of the H-1b beneficiary. And this moves us to number 4. A very important aspect of getting your H-1b employee is that that employee actually has the skills required. Now, H-1b, it's one of these laws, specifically it's from 1990. It was the Immigration Naturalization Act of 1990. That under it, there is an H-1b, and it lists these specific specialty occupations. And if it's in there, great. If it's not, yikes. Make sure your possible H-1b hire has at least a bachelor's degree. Very often, more than 50% of H-1b visas go to people with more than a bachelor's degree. So you want them to have at least a bachelor's degree, preferably in STEM. If I'm talking to somebody who owns a tech company, there's a very high likelihood that you've checked that box. If not, then you have to get into the equivalency stuff. Then you need to hire usually an expert that vouches for your H-1b candidate, that says that that person has the equivalency of a particular educational achievement in that field. With the Trump administration, USCIS has been making it more difficult, putting up additional barriers and hoops that you have to jump through. I guess that's a pretty good time for us to get to our fifth thing that a company who's thinking of hiring its first H-1b really should do. Find a qualified attorney. I am a member of AILA. The other attorneys that I work with at Work Visa Solutions are also members of AILA. What's AILA? The American Immigration Lawyers Association. Wonderful association, very dutiful servants, and they are trying to make sure that you, company owner, can hire the right H-1b, or if you are the H-1b or the other, an immigrant that has a different legal status, that they help immigrants. It's a wonderful organization to be a part of. Those are the 5 things that your company needs to do to hire its first H-1b. And if you want help with number 5, give me a call. If you're watching this on one of our H-1b landing pages, there should be buttons for you to call me everywhere. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a question about your H-1b employee in the comments. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and if you have any other questions about work visas that we can help you answer, well, leave them in the comments or visit us at workvisas.solutions. Thanks, and until next time, we'll keep working because immigrants are what make America great.